So I'm going to show you the process of growing the sunflower seeds. Well, at least starting them. We'll go through the later parts later. But first you want to get, you got your seed, which sunflower seed are one of the few varieties that you want to soak. I already have some soaked sunflower seed right here ready to go. So first of all, you get your tray. Very, very important is to have a tray with holes and a tray without holes. And you put the tray with holes inside, because when you want to water from the bottom. Well, sunflower, you water a little bit on the top just to get those seed holes softened, and then you're gonna fill the tray up with soil. I usually go about 1 inch deep, but with sunflower I go about 1.5, just because the sunflower tends to like a little bit more soil. It's the same with peas. I do the same with peas. The peas will take over the entire thing and just make it one big mat of soil and roots, which is actually pretty cool. Make sure you get it nice and even. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you just don't want a bunch of valleys and stuff. It can cause issues. Water will pool up. So just as nice and flat as possible. You don't want to pat it down too much, but just a little bit. And then once you get that, you've got your seeds, which are already soaked. Then you just want to spread them as absolutely evenly as possible. Which for wet seed can be tough sometimes, but you just kind of have to do your best. If you get any large pools of seed, you definitely want to separate them, because that's definitely gonna cause issues, most likely mold or something. Just got the last bit of seed out of the jar there. Just gonna spread it best you can. Get it nice and covered. Now for a really important part I actually forgot is the amount of seed that you want to use for sunflower. I've found depends on the variety of seed. So when you buy black oil sunflower seed, there's going to be large seeded and there's going to be small seeded. Personally, I prefer the small seeded. I think you get more per tray, like per gram of seed, than you do for large seeded. And also, especially this variety of large or small seeded that I get, it comes loose off the cotyledon better. Which the cotyledon is just the large leaves that form initially. So, got a good spread here. Sometimes I like to give them a little pat just to get them in the soil a little bit. They're sticking up. And then that's that. Get a nice little spread. There's going to be some touching just because it's just going to happen. But just do the best you can. You just don't want a big pile of them. Then from there, water. Now you don't have to water the top a ton with sunflower because they're already soaked, they're already wet. But give them a good misting. I get the outsides a little bit more than the inside because for whatever reason when they germinate, well, it's not really for whatever reason. There's a good reason. The outsides dry much quicker than the inside. So to get a nice even germination, it's just an extra water on the outsides, a little bit less on the inside, and then that should be plenty. And then you want to do about 1 cup of water in the bottom tray. Some people don't do any on the bottom. I used to measure, I just kind of have an idea at this point. You just want to feel it, make sure it's not too heavy to make sure it's not too much water. Overwatering is a main cause of mold, fungal rot, all that kind of stuff, damping off. So you definitely want to it takes a little bit of time, you got to get it right. Now if you're measuring it, that's good. But when you're first starting out, you definitely want to pull things out of germination, pull the trays out of germination, and double check them, make sure to see if there's any dry spots. Because in germination, it's better to have it a little bit dry and then check it and be able to just give it a little spray real quick. But what matters most on germination is on top. So you want to spray the top. Underneath is just kind of to just saturate the soil a little bit, just to get a little bit moisture in there so it germinates a little bit quicker. But you want to water from the top during germination. So yeah, and then once that's there, you basically just grab another tray, I have a bunch of broken trays usually that I just use, and you set it on top. And then there's some people that they put 15-pound weights on the trays when they're during germination. For me, I just have a bunch of like big thick books that I don't use anymore that I just throw on top. But something like this, because it keeps the tray down, it keeps less air from leaking out, so less moisture leaks out, so that they stay moist during germination. And also, most important reason to do that is to force the roots to go down. So the roots grow down so they don't grow weird all over the place. But also with sunflower specifically, it helps pull those seed hulls off, so you don't have as many when you get under the lights and everything. They actually come off during germination, which makes it a lot easier for you later down the line. So germination usually for sunflower, depending on temperatures, anywhere from 3 to 5 days. When it's cold, I've had it in for 7 days. So usually what I do is for about 3 days, I have the weight on and I have the tray like this. And then once I see that they're coming up a little bit, once they're about like this far off, grown a little bit, I flip the top, and this is what's called blackout phase. And so you have this on, make sure it's nice and sealed around the outside and all that. But then this will allow them to grow up. And since they have no light, they're gonna reach for light, even though there's no light in there. So they'll get nice and tall, which is why I have these that are nice, real tall, like several inches high sunflower. Because sunflower, when they're germinated and you put them in blackout, all you need is really 1 day in blackout and they get real tall real quick. And then once you're done with that, once they're in blackout for a day, maybe 2 days, should be about 4 to 5 days in, is when you take them out and then you put them under the lights. And when you put them under the lights, you're gonna spray the tops. So you spray the top, you water basically from the top, just for those few initial waters, and that helps all those seed hulls come off. So another method too, besides the rubbing the tops to get the seed hulls off, is to basically spray them. Well, really the best way to do it is to spray them and then wait 10 minutes, because then the water soaks into the seeds a little bit, makes them a little bit easier to get off. So whether you pull them off individually or wipe them, then either way works. I just like to pull them off individually just to have a nice cleaner tray at the end, because they get all tangled and grow all weird. So yeah, that's about it. About 12 days start to finish, and get a beautiful tray of sunflower sprouts.
This has been a Team Woods production.